They say women want love. They say they want honesty, loyalty, and consistency. But here's the truth no one tells you. She will only love you deeply, truly, and completely. If you dare to break her, not by hurting her, but by breaking her. Illusions. Her illusions about control, about men, about what she can get away with. Because only when a man shows he won't be manipulated, tested, or tamed, does she begin to respect and love him for real. Here are 5 powerful truths behind this idea. 5 ways a man must break her to earn her deepest love. In many relationships, especially early on, women will test you, consciously or unconsciously, to see where your boundaries are. It's not manipulation in a cruel sense, it's instinctual. She wants to know what kind of man she's dealing with. Will you fold when challenged? Will you bend your principles just to keep her around? These moments are critical. If you're too eager to please, too quick to compromise, you lose a part of your masculine edge. And that edge is exactly what keeps her interested and emotionally engaged. By holding your ground, calmly and confidently, you signal strength. And strength is attractive. When you break her patterns of control, you're not trying to dominate her. You're simply refusing to be controlled. If she pulls back emotionally to get a reaction and you don't chase, that breaks the cycle. If she tries to guilt you into something and you calmly say no without anger or apology, that breaks the game. The message is clear. You're not here to be played with. You're here to be respected or left alone. She may act like she's frustrated when you don't bend, but deep down, it builds something more powerful. Respect. And once she respects, love follows on a deeper level. She starts to see you as a man who leads, not a man who follows, as someone she can trust to hold his own. Most men get caught in the trap of constantly trying to keep her happy, but what she really wants is to feel your strength in moments of tension. That's where emotional safety is created, not in saying yes all the time, but in standing tall when it matters. Break the pattern, and you break through to the real connection she craves. One rooted in mutual respect, not control. Many men fall into the trap of trying to earn a woman's love by constantly pleasing her. They believe that if they're always available, always agreeable, and always catering to her emotions, she'll feel more secure and love them more deeply. But in reality, this approach often has the opposite effect. When you try too hard to keep her happy, you slowly lose your sense of self. She starts to sense that your world revolves around her approval, and nothing kills attraction faster than a man who places her opinion above his own sense of worth. The man who constantly seeks validation becomes predictable, easy to influence, and ultimately easy to walk away from. On the surface, he may seem like the perfect guy, kind, generous, always saying the right thing. But beneath that, there's a lack of emotional spine. And women feel that. They may not articulate it, but deep down, they know they can't fully trust a man who won't stand firm in who he is. A relationship built on constant appeasement isn't real connection. It's emotional dependency. To truly connect with her, you have to let go of the need to be liked every second. You have to be willing to disagree, to say no, to choose what's right over what's easy. When you stop trying to constantly please her and start prioritizing your own standards, she sees a man with backbone. And that's magnetic. It tells her you're capable of leading, of protecting, of being something solid in a world full of softness and compromise. Women don't fall in love with the man who gives them everything. They fall for the one who gives them something real, even when it's not always what they want to hear. That kind of presence leaves a lasting impression. Into relationships. Not every emotional outburst or dramatic moment deserves a response. Sometimes, the most powerful move a man can make is to remain silent. When a woman tests your patience, says something hurtful, or plays emotional games to provoke a reaction, your instinct might be to defend yourself, argue, or chase after clarity. But that only fuels the fire and tells her that her behavior controls your emotions. When you choose silence instead, when you calmly step back instead of reacting, you break the pattern, and that's when things start to shift. Silence isn't weakness. It's control. It says, I won't entertain disrespect. I won't engage in chaos. I value my peace more than proving a point. That kind of discipline is rare and incredibly attractive, because in that silence, she starts to feel the consequences of her actions. Without your energy feeding the drama, she's left to sit with herself. And that space, those unanswered texts, that unreturned call, your emotional unavailability, speaks louder than any words ever could. She may act indifferent or try to test you further, but deep down, the silence gets to her. It forces her to reflect, to question what just happened, and to wonder if she pushed too far. It creates uncertainty, and that uncertainty has power, because now, she's not in control of your reactions. You've shifted the emotional dynamic without raising your voice or making a scene. When you refuse to play the game, you stand out. You're no longer just another guy trying to fix things or win her approval. You're the man who values his emotional energy and doesn't waste it proving his worth. That kind of silence demands attention, commands respect, and often triggers a deeper realization within her than any argument ever could. One of the most powerful shifts a man can make is detaching from the belief that he needs her in order to be whole. Society has conditioned many men to believe that a woman's love is the ultimate validation. That if she chooses you, it proves your value. But when you let go of that mindset and begin living as if you don't need her, everything changes. You stop walking on eggshells. You stop tolerating disrespect. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. And instead, you start operating from self-respect, not emotional dependence. When a woman senses that your happiness doesn't hinge on her, it immediately changes the dynamic. She sees a man who isn't desperate, who isn't emotionally needy, and who isn't easily shaken. That level of self-possession is rare, and it makes her look at you differently. Now, you're not the guy begging for a chance. You're the man she has to earn a place with. This isn't about arrogance. It's about showing her that you're already whole on your own. Your life, your growth, your peace. They continue whether she's in it or not. Ironically, this is when most women start to feel a deeper attraction, because deep down, they don't want to be your reason for living. They want to be part of a man's already fulfilling life. When she realizes you won't crumble if she leaves, she also realizes that you're not like the rest. You become a challenge, a mystery, and more importantly, someone she can truly respect. By releasing the need for her, you elevate yourself, and that elevation either draws her in for real or clears the path for someone better who sees your value without needing to be convinced. The most undeniable way to shift the dynamic in any relationship, or after one ends, is to become the version of yourself that's no longer seeking validation, but radiating self-worth. When you focus all your energy on becoming better mentally, physically, emotionally, and even financially, something powerful happens. You stop needing to convince anyone of your value. Instead, you become the kind of man whose presence speaks for itself. That kind of growth breaks through doubt in a way words never could. When she sees you evolving, genuinely improving, not out of spite or to win her back, but because you've tapped into your potential, she starts to feel something she didn't expect: admiration. And admiration often reignites attraction. While she might have once doubted your drive, questioned your confidence, or taken your consistency for granted, she now sees a man who's in motion, who's in control, and who no longer looks to her for permission to thrive. Self-improvement is your silent weapon. It doesn't argue, it doesn't beg, it doesn't react, it just shows. You hit the gym harder, you upgrade your circle, you move with purpose, you build. And in doing so, you communicate one clear message: I was always enough. Now I'm just undeniable. That shift in energy changes everything. She no longer sees the man she thought she could walk away from so easily. She sees a man who not only survived the loss, but transformed because of it. This isn't about revenge or proving her wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were never lacking. And when she witnesses that transformation, whether from a distance or up close, it hits different. Because now you're not chasing her approval. You've outgrown it. And that's when true power and peace begins. This isn't about manipulation. It's about leadership, strength, standards. Because the truth is, a woman doesn't fall for the man who chases her. She falls for the man who makes her rise to meet him. So break her expectations, break the patterns, break the emotional games. And in that boldness, she'll find a love she can't walk away from.